Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm doing the TMI tag, which is the too much information tag. I am doing the booktube edition, so it's going to be less about me and more about my literary preferences, which I'm quite excited to get through. The first question on the tag is, what fictional character has the best style? So considering that the majority of books I read has the main characters just kind of really casual, I'm just going to go with any Shadowhunter ever, because all black leather, awesome kick-ass boots. I'm appreciating the style there that Cassandra Clare has put out for everyone. The second question is your book girlfriend, boyfriend, or fictional crush. Yeah, who am I going to pick? My new fictional crush is Mark Blackthorne from Lady Midnight. I think simply because I've read it recently, so he's stuck in my head a little bit. I find it difficult to pick fictional girlfriend because they didn't want to pick two from the same book, but Emma Carstairs, her humour, her attitude, I find quite interesting. The third question is, ever loved a character but then started to hate them? For this question, I'm going to go with Diana Bishop from A Discovery of Witches. I would have wanted to see her stronger. I didn't like the way that she was portrayed. Yeah, I find it quite disappointing actually. I just got really annoyed with her quite a lot, and I know it's not exactly like growing to hate like a villain. I don't really hate villains. The fourth question is the biggest, longest book on your shelf. I have The Passage by Justin Cronin, which is just under 1,000 pages. City of Heavenly Fire is like twice as big. This book is 733 pages, and it is really big. Yeah, I think simply because it's such a big book and it's got a lot of pages, I would say it's the longest, or the biggest even. Question 5 is the heaviest book on your shelf. I don't know if this counts, but I have my Shakespeare Norton edition here, it's huge and it is really, really heavy. It has 3,419 pages. It's definitely the heaviest book that I own and the longest, since it has all of Shakespeare's work in it. Question 6 is, do you have any book posters? Yes, I do. I will show you the one that I have. Okay, so we are in my bedroom now, and this is my Middle Earth poster. There is my Tea Party poster from Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. This is the March Air. It's a piece of art. This is the Avengers poster that came out several years ago, and the Hobbit Battle of the Five Armies there, which is my absolute favourite poster other than my Map of Middle Earth poster. So yes, those are all of my posters. Technically they're all book related if you count movie adaptations. Question 7. Do you have any book themed jewellery? I don't actually have any book themed jewellery. I've got a lot of mugs, like bags. Do I have any t-shirts? Do I? Question 8 is book one true pairing. I don't really. I like to keep it strictly to what the author envisions. I would say that the most recent pairing that I would really like to see together is, again, Mark and Emma in Lady Midnight. I didn't like Jules as much as I liked Mark, and I don't know, I think that Emma and Mark go together better. I mean, Cassandra Clare might just kill them all, and then no guessing. Question 9. Favourite book series. It's really hard for me to pick favourite books. I've read so many series and it's kind of like an in the moment thing for me. I appreciate a series a lot more just after I've read it and I like it a bit more, but then the emotion dwindles away a little bit for me. I guess I would have to say one series that I cannot fault is The Infernal Devices. I've read so many series and I would choose them all for different reasons. I really liked the Chaos Walking series as well by Patrick Ness when I was younger. Question 10 is favourite book to movie soundtrack. I changed my mind frequently, depending on my mood a lot as well. Possibly one of my favourite soundtracks was the Almost Alice soundtrack, which came out with the film in 2010, which I mentioned in my previous video. There are some incredible tracks on there, like especially Her Name is Alice, and that is a really, really good song. Other than that, I think the Catching Fire soundtrack was really, really good. I used to listen to it while I wrote a lot. Question 11 is a book story you miss, wish would continue. This isn't a series that has ended, but it's one that I'm really excited to get back into, if that counts. I wouldn't really be able to pick any series that I wish would continue. I think they all end how they're supposed to end, and I'm really glad with the way that the ones that I've read have ended. I know there are several series out there that people were disappointed by, but there's a lot of series that I stopped reading because I really didn't care how they ended. One that I'm really excited to get back into next year is going to be the next Bone Season novel. Samantha Shannon is a really good writer, and I have the Mime Order as well. So I don't really have any that I wish would continue, but I have this one that I'm excited to continue with. Question 12 is my favourite standalone. So it took me a while to decide this one, simply because there is a particular author whose standalone novels I really, really like. It's going to have to be Jamaica Inn by Daphne du Maurier. I just thought it was incredible. I picked it up and didn't put it down. If you've read Rebecca and you haven't read Jamaica Inn, please go buy Jamaica Inn because it's an incredible story. Question 13 is, since when do you read books? Always. I've always read books. Question 14 is, which Hogwarts house are you? I did put off taking the Pottermore quiz for a while. I don't know why. I think just because I always knew. I am a Slytherin. As much as everyone wants to be a Gryffindor, to be honest, I really didn't. Yeah, down to my black-hearted core, I am a Slytherin. Question 15, a quality you look for in a book. Something that's very important to me is the writing style. I find it very difficult to enjoy a novel despite how good the story is if it's not written well. It's really important to me that the book has a really good writing style, otherwise it's really difficult for me to continue with it. I've put down so many books because the narrative is just so poorly written. Another thing that is also really important to me is the history. I think it's why I've always enjoyed the Shadowhunter Chronicles. Sandra Clare always ties in either the biblical allusion or she finds a way to fit into the history of the place. She does a lot of research for her novels and it shows in the quality of her writing. 16 is, what is your favourite book quote? What it's always been for me is Lewis Carroll's Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, and the quote is, if I had a world of my own, everything would be nonsense. Nothing would be what it is because everything would be what it isn't. It kind of embodies everything that I believe in. It means a lot to me with my own writing and my own artwork as well. Question 17 is, who's your favourite author? So again, I don't really have a favourite author. I mean, there are so many opposing aspects of writing novels. There's genre, narrative voice, history, context. I don't like comparing authors, especially when they cross genres. And I've never been able to choose, to be honest. I don't really have favourites. Books mean different things to me for different reasons, which is why I could never pick why one is more important to me than the other. Favourite book cover. This one again was really difficult for me to decide because obviously Lady Midnight has just been released and I love the cover here. I think the photography there is absolutely divine. Another book cover that I really like is Danielle Trussoni's Angelology. I adore this book as well. If you haven't read this book and you really like the idea and the history behind angels, then it is incredible. It's a very different take on Nephilim. Nothing like Shadowhunters. Is absolutely nothing like Shadowhunters. I don't want people to go into reading a book like this and expect it to be the same because it's absolutely not. It's completely different. I really like the cover. The Passage by Justin Cronin, I think, has a really nice cover. Oh god, picking favourites is hard. Question 19 is action or romance? Action above romance, absolutely. Romance is always a good device to use in an action novel, but when it's the most important plot line, it kind of just, it bores me a little bit. I don't know, I'd rather see someone killed than someone kiss. Question 20 is, where do you go when a sad moment happens? I will go and sit in my wardrobe and put my headphones in, play music really loud, and just kind of curl up into a ball and pretend like the world doesn't exist. And it's very easy to do that if you've got good soundtracks. Question 21 is, How long do you need to finish a book? And again, that depends entirely on the book. Sometimes I will sit down and read a book in a night or read 2 in a day. It really depends. Question 22 is how long is your mourning period? I don't really mourn after I read a book. I mean, I have book slumps, times when you really just don't want to read, but I don't really have a mourning period. Question 23 is least favourite book. There have been so many books I've picked up, started, and not finished, but I wanted to pick one that I did actually finish. For me, my worst book is Passion by Lauren Kate. So I tried with this series. I remember picking up Fallen when I was younger and really, really enjoying the first book. The story was coming together really well. And then I read Torment and I was a bit like, okay, I'll keep going. I'll see if it gets any better or any worse. And it just got worse. I hated this book. It was a really, really interesting idea and it could have been so good. And it was just really, really disappointing. I really wouldn't recommend this series to anyone, to be honest. Question 24 is turn on in a character. Humour. I especially like British sarcasm, but that might just be because I am British and sarcastic to the bone. It can be good and bad, but at the end of the day, I really enjoy the sarcasm. Question 25, turn off in a character. Murder, usually. Cold-blooded murder is never a good sign in a character. Yeah, that's basically it. If you've enjoyed this video, then give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel as well if you want to see more of me. I'm here every Tuesday. And as well, if you want to answer the questions for yourself, feel free to steal the questions and comment as well on the video if you enjoyed it. It was nice chatting to you all.